Good evening, dear students. Hope you all are doing great and studying well. So I hope you remember what we discussed in the previous class. We began the lesson, or we began the drama Watchman of the Lake, which has been written by R.K. Narayan. And I gave you the brief introduction of this drama in the previous class, and we also discussed the important characters that we are going to see in this drama. And who is the protagonist here? The protagonist of this particular drama, that is Mara. And before getting into the first scene, let me give you the meaning of the word that I gave you in the previous class. So what was that word? Endorse. So what do you mean by endorse? Endorse is to express approval of or give support to, especially by public statement or giving sanction, what we say giving sanction. So how do we use this word in a sentence? We can say that to endorse a political candidate, to support a political candidate, or I can endorse this statement wholeheartedly. So I can endorse, I can support this statement wholeheartedly. So in this way we use the word endorse in a sentence. Yes, now getting back to the first scene, or getting back to the drama, as I said, I hope you remember what does this drama talk about. I hope you remember that. So this drama talks about water conservation, or what we call water preservation. And this is a story of an ordinary man who does an extraordinary work to save his village and save the lake. As I said, since so many people were depending on it, and that's why he decided to sacrifice his own life. In other words, we can say that this is a story of an ordinary man who tries to protect the lake, who knows the value of water. So now let's begin the first scene, and if you have a textbook, please look at it. So page number 59. As I said, in the first scene we see where the road menders are working. So the first scene that takes place at the foot of a hill, in a village at the foot of a hill, bottom of a hill. So what are the workers doing? They are repairing the roads, as I said, and who is under the guidance or under the instruction of the headman. As I said, headman here, the dominating character. So you have to look at the words that the village headman uses to call those workers. As I said, he is very dominating and he is very bullying. He doesn't give respect to those workers. So he is angry because the work is not going on properly, and that's why he is angry on the workers. So he uses some abusive words for the workers. He talks down to them. So some people, some workers, they are just staring at the sky and they are not at all working, and that's why he calls them wretched dog. Wretched dog, again a very abusive word. Worthless man, what we call useless man. And he also threatens them. So if you keep wasting the time like this, definitely I am going to push you into the stream. So again he says that, and he further says that if I catch you again gossiping with your neighbor, here neighbor with another worker. So if you just waste time in talking or speaking with the other workers, definitely I am going to punish you. I am going to push you into the stream. This is how he threatens his workers, and because he expects everything should be perfect when king arrives. You have to remember why were they working so hard, or why the headman is very anxious there, because the king was about to arrive or about to visit their village, or the king is about to pass their village, and that is why he wants the roads to be repaired as soon as possible, and that's why he is making he is making them work. But when he sees them, or when he observes them wasting time, he gets angry because they are not at all working there. But still they are giggling and talking, which couldn't tolerated by the headman, and that is why he scolds him. Further he says that the road must be ready before the king arrives. Look at that, he is worried about that. What the king may think if the roads are not repaired properly. He may get a bad impression about our village, and that's why we have to keep this road ready before his arrival. So that is why he threatens the workers that the roads must be ready before the arrival of king. And after that he asks the workmen, so why are you all laughing or what? Anyway, what makes you all so merry? Merry is happy. What is the reason behind your laughing or happiness? Why are you all looking so happy? What's the matter behind that? So when they did not say, he commands them that you have to say that, and he calls two workers too timid. Timid is too fearful. When he called the workers, the workmen, they got scared and they came to him with the fearful gesture. And one of them said that, Master, we were doing our work all right, but. He says, we are doing our work honestly, we are doing our work promptly, but, which means something is holding them back, something is distracting them. So that is why headman asked them, but what? What is the matter? What is your problem? The timid workman, one of the workmen, he said that it is Mara. Because of Mara, we are not able to work properly. He is disturbing us. He puts all the blame on Mara. Definitely the Mara is there, and that is the reason they are not able to concentrate on their work. So headman asks, Mara, what about him? Is that lunatic anywhere here? Look at the word the headman uses to call Mara. He calls Mara lunatic. What do you mean by lunatic? Lunatic is mad, insane. Is that mad fellow here? And even the workmen, they say yes. He was behind that rock. So he was hiding behind that rock. Rock is, Bandekallu, you can say that. So he was there behind that rock and peeped at us. So he was peeping at us. Peeped is Inuku. He was peeping at us, and when he heard your voice, the moment the headman called the two workmen, or when the Mara heard the voice of headman, he just ran away being scared. So headman is very angry now on Mara. So he says, he asks him, he inquires about Mara, he orders the workmen to catch Mara. He asks him, where is he now? Which way did he go? For which the workman replies that he sprang off like a buck and ran up the hill. Look at that. This kind of behavior of Mara, that gives impression that he is a very funny character. Only in the first scene, as I said, because Mara's character that grows from one level to another level. Of course, he looks very immature in this scene, but you will be shocked to see the same Mara in the next scene where he looks very matured. So here he is ready to take anything on him, he is ready to be blamed here, but there is a purpose behind that. Mara has a very good intention behind disturbing these workmen as well as headmen. Because if somebody is constantly irritating, or if somebody is constantly coming their way again and again, which means there is something to say, there is something to convey. So that's why Mara was waiting for an opportunity. He wanted to talk to the headman, he wanted to meet the king, and that's why he was coming again and again. But unfortunately the headman and the workmen, they misunderstood Mara. They did not have any patience to listen what Mara has to say, especially the headman. He considered him the lunatic or insane. He was not at all ready to hear what Mara has to say. So he orders, the headman orders his workmen that throw all your spades or crowbars. Okay, spades is hare, what we call hare. Okay, so usually we use that to tend gardens and all, spades and crowbars. You might have seen that equipments. So he says, stop all your work. He orders or he commands his workmen, stop all your work and just catch that lunatic Mara. So he orders them. So stop all ways out, catch that thief. So he should not escape from your hand, and you have to bring him before me. So go and catch him. And further he gives them freedom to give a blow to Mara. What do you mean by that? You can hit him. If he resists or if he throws any tantrum to come with you, or if he tries to escape, just stun him. Stun him is just scare him off or threaten him with a blow, just hit him. Okay, so bring him at once. So you have to bring him before me. So even the workmen, they do as the headman says, because he is a higher authority there right now. The headman, they have to listen to his words, right, because he is the one who is going to pay for their work. So that is why they agreed to do the work that the headman said. So the workmen, they threw down their implements and they dispersed to catch Mara, and finally they caught Mara. So Mara was caught by the workmen and they brought him towards the headman. So the moment the headman saw Mara, he was very angry. But Mara is very, he is a lively person and he doesn't take anything into heart. Even though headman abuses him, even though headman uses some bad words for Mara, still he doesn't get angry. He doesn't react. He doesn't answer back. Somewhere he keeps himself calm. He doesn't get angry and he waits for his opportunity. And here look at the statement, or look at the words that the headman uses in the page number 61 for Mara. In this page he calls him lunatic, and now he calls him you worthless dog. Look at the way how he treats Mara. Okay, even though here one thing we should remember always, just because you are in a higher position, that doesn't mean you can talk down to someone, or you can talk down to everyone. Right, you should also, if you are in a higher position, which means you have some responsibilities and you have to, you should have the patience to listen what others have to say. Otherwise, there is no use of your higher position or post. But here look at the way how he treats another man. So he calls him wretched dog and he asks him, have I not told you to keep away from here? How many times should I tell you that you should not come here? For which Mara says, yes my master. He is not offended by any of his words. He is, very calmly he answers the questions of headman. He says, yes my master, you have told me. Headman, what do you mean by coming here and disturbing my workmen? So why do you come here again and again, and why are you disturbing my workmen? Why are you not letting them work properly? Why are you distracting them? For which, look at how Mara answers his question. I'm not disturbing them. I'm here on my own work. Let them go on with theirs. Look at the way how he answers, or how confident he is about his work. He says, I'm not disturbing anyone. I'm here to accomplish my work. I have come here to complete my work. So I'm here on my own work. Let them go on with theirs. Who told them to focus on me? This is how he answers. And again, when he heard Mara's word, headman got angry. Headman has already considered Mara that he is lunatic, and he says, don't talk of your work, you fool. Look at the word that he uses now, fool. You are a lunatic, you are a mad fellow. What work do you have? You don't have any work. Don't talk of your work, you are a mad fellow. So don't imagine you have any kind of work. Don't even imagine, don't even think that you have a serious work to do. The only work you have now is to disappear. Just go away from this place and get out of my sight. This is what the headman wants, and this is what headman says. The headman keeps on, insulting Mara, but still Mara doesn't take all these words seriously, because as I said, his intention is something else. So he can tolerate anything to convey that intention or convey that message to the king, and that's why he is ready to take everything that headman is saying. So everybody doesn't have this character, right? If somebody is calling us mad and somebody is calling us fool, definitely we won't go again there and talk to them. But here Mara is completely different. He knows that if he takes all these blames now, definitely it will help the future of his village, and that's why he is ready to take all the blame, and he goes there again and again. Even though he is insulted, he is humiliated. So Mara, look at that. When he says that you do not have any work, look at Mara, how innocently he asks that question. Why so? Why so? Why do you think so? For which Headman says, don't ask. I have told you the reason 20 times. Look at that, he says, the king is passing this way. So he asks Headman, why are you not letting me come this way? Or he asks him why he is not letting Mara to come that way, and for which Headman says that I have told you the reason many times. The king is passing this way and I don't want him to know that our village has such fools as you. Somewhere the Headman thinks that if Mara meets the king, that would be a disgrace for their village. Because according to him, even the king thinks that Mara is a fool or mad. And that is why he doesn't want Mara to meet the king. So that's why he says you have to be away from this place and you should not come before the king. If you come, then definitely it may create bad impression for the king. But look at that, when the Headman calls him fool, Mara says, I don't feel I am a fool. Look at the way how he answers. He says, I am not a fool. Headman, now listen. So he gives a final warning. Now listen. Keep out of our view the next 2 days. When the king passes this way and back. So you should not come here, or you should not be here for 2 days. Don't be visible to anyone. Get out of my sight for 2 days. This is what he says. So until the king leaves this village, you should not be seen anywhere here. This is what he wants. So after that, again he threatens that if you come here again, then definitely I am going to lock you inside a cellar which is there behind that old temple. Again, this is important for 1 mark. So the Headman threatened Mara that if he comes there again, then definitely he is going to lock him up in the cellar behind that old temple. So there was a cellar behind the old temple. So he threatened him that he would put him in that jail or cellar. But Mara says, look at that. If you put me inside that cellar, definitely then I'll sit there and pray, because that is behind the temple. So God will understand me. You do not have any patience to listen to me, but definitely the God has. If you put me inside the cellar, what I'll do, I just sit there inside the cellar and I'll pray. If that God in the temple thinks I have work to do, he will take me out. Look at the confidence that he has. Because he knows that he is not doing any wrong thing there. He has come there with a good intention, and he says, if the God really thinks that I have a work to do, definitely he will take me out of that cellar, even if you put me inside the cellar. This is what he says. Headman got angry again. He was furious and he says, get out of my presence. And further, when the workmen were just watching them talking, he got angry again and he scolds them. He even scolds the workmen that you fellows, why do you all stand gaping at me? Gaping is staring. You fools, you fellows, what are you doing? Why are you gaping or staring at me? Get on with your work. Keep working. Don't waste your time. Go back to your work. Get back to your work. This is how he orders them. Even after getting threatened by the Headman, Mara did not lose hopes. Mara did not give up. He just kept talking about his dream. So now you will get to know why Mara was coming there again and again. So Mara says, once again the goddess of the river came to me in the dream and said, this is why Mara is constantly coming there. Even though he was humiliated by the Headman, still he was there. He was still there by respecting the words of the goddess. So why he is coming there? The goddess of the river had appeared in his dream, and she said to Mara that the king is coming this way. Tell him about the tank, he will listen. So this is what the goddess told him in his dream, and that's why Mara wants to meet the king and convey what the goddess had said to him in the dream. This is the reason. I hope you got to know now. So Mara is coming there again and again since the goddess of the river had come or had appeared in his dream, and she said to convey the message to the king about the tank, and that's why Mara is trying to meet the king. So if you find a question, or if you get question for 1 mark, which goddess appeared in Mara's dream, then you have to write goddess of the river. Headman says, don't tell me that again, you and your dream, which means that tells that Mara had already tried to say this or tell this to the headman, and that's why he doesn't believe all these things. Because nobody believes that if you say that in the last night goddess appeared in my dream and she said to do this, nobody believes you. Everybody will consider you as mad or you're a fool. The same happened here even with the headman. So he doesn't believe even a word of Mara. He says that don't tell me that again, don't try to fool me, don't try to fool me with your dreams, you and your dream. So I feel tempted to kick you. Look at the way he says. He's very angry and he says, escape from here being unkicked. Otherwise definitely I'll kick you now. So don't start about your dream again. This is what he wants. So Mara again he asks, what have I said to offend you so much, sir? Why are you getting angry? Why are you getting so angry? So are you jealous? Look at the way how he asks. So innocently he asks, are you jealous that the goddess comes to me rather than to you in dream? He thinks that the headman is jealous of him, that the goddess came to, in his dream. That's why probably the headman is not ready to listen to all those stuff. This is what Mara thinks. So here, this is why I said Mara looks, he sounds so funny in the first scene. So he asks, are you jealous that the goddess came to me rather than you in dream? And again he asks, shall I repeat the very words she uttered? Shall I tell you each and every word that she told me? The headman again, he is already furious and he says that, no, be off. He says, no, be off, get out, be off, get out. And like a good fellow, keep to your backyard till the king departs. Again, he tries to convince Mara. He says that, like a good fellow, please be at your or stay at your home till the king departs, till the king leaves this village. Backyard is home, reference to the home. Stay at home. I'll give you, if you do so, if you listen to my word and if you follow that, and definitely I'll give you a fine gift if you behave yourself. So he says, headman tries to convince Mara. He says that if you listen to my word and if you keep yourself at home, if you stay at home, definitely I'll give you the finest gift. For which Mara says, Mara is, as I said, he's not the one who will be, who will be convinced so easily in this matter. As I said, he respects the goddess, the word of goddess. So he's not going to give up so easily just for a gift or, any present. For which he says, very smartly, he says, look at that, another person has already given me the greatest gift any man could give. Shall I say who that person is? Look at that, how smart Mara is. He says, I don't want any other presents or gifts. I have already received the finest gift that any man could give. Shall I say who that person is? Headman asks, oh, is it? Who's that great man then? Mara says, my father-in-law. Look at that, which means his father-in-law has given his daughter to him. So that is the finest gift that he had ever received. That is what Mara says. So when he said that, the workmen who were standing around them, they laughed at his joke. What could be the reaction of headman now? He shouted in anger. He yelled at everyone and he said, stop laughing everyone. I'll starve you all without work if I catch you again laughing at this fellow's mad prattle. Prattle is nonsense talk. If I see you again laughing at this fool's joke or prattle, nonsense talk, I'll starve you all without work. Starve you, which means I won't give you any work and there'll be No work, no money and no food. So I'll punish you. This is what he threatens. He commands Bhima to come. So again, Bhima is another one of the workmen. Okay, he calls Bhima and he orders him, throw down your crowbar, the equipment that he had in his hand. Throw down that. I have another piece of work for you. Come here. He gives another work for Bhima. So Bhima says, yes master, I have come. What is your command? So Bhima is all ready to follow the words of his master. And headman gives him work. What is that work? The work of watching over Mara. So that is the biggest work here. So somebody has to look after Mara, or else what he does, he spoils all the work. So that is the fear the headman had. So that's why he calls Bhima and he orders him, bind this fellow hand and foot and throw him into the cellar behind the old temple. Look at that. What he has to do, he has to tie the foot or bind the foot and hand of Mara and then put him in the old temple, cellar which is there behind the old temple, and keep him there till the day after tomorrow. So he has to be there in that cellar for 2 days, and he should not come here until the king departs. So that is the work of Bhima. He has to take care of him and he should not escape. So he gives this responsibility of guarding over Mara to Bhima. Bhima too agrees. He says, yes my master. Headman. Now headman again tries to threaten Mara by describing the strength of Bhima. This is again very funny. You have to feel the reaction of Mara here. Look at that, how the headman describes the physical strength or the strength of Bhima. He says, Mara, have a look at this giant, great in size. Look at his size, physical size. He's just like, Bhima, right? So he can swing. He's so strong that he can swing an elephant by its tail. That is the strength of Bhima. Look at that. He can swing an elephant by its tail. So have a care. So be careful, Mara. He's so strong that he can swing even an elephant by its tail. That is the power and strength of Bhima. So have a care. If you try any tricks on him, if you try to escape from him, then what he'll do, he'll crush you between his thumb and forefinger. Look at that. This is so funny to read. Isn't that? Just imagine that. So he says he's trying to startle Mara by describing the strength of Bhima. He says if you try to escape from him, if you try to play any tricks, definitely he is going to crush you between his thumb and forefinger. But what could be the reaction of Mara? Look at that. Here Mara asks, he is not at all scared of Bhima. Even after listening about his strength, even after looking at him, he just asks a simple question. How did you manage to grow so fat? Isn't that funny? Even Bhima, look at the reaction of Bhima here. That is, Bhima too answers this question so friendly. He has completely forgotten what was his responsibility, what his responsibility was. So here headman again, actually he got crushed between Mara and Bhima here because of their innocence. Here Bhima also innocent and even Mara also innocent. Look at how they converse with each other. Okay, so when he asked that how did you manage to grow so fat, Bhima says, my mother gave me iron decoction when I was a baby. So that's why he grew so strong. So how did he grow so strong or so fat? When he was a small baby, his mother gave him iron decoction. And at every dawn, not only that, and at every dawn I run up the hill with the large grindstone. Dawn is early morning. He runs up the hill with the large grindstone on his back. And that's why he became so fat and he became very strong. So that's the secret of his fitness. This is what he says, Bhima. It is a very big stone. Look at how even Bhima is trying to praise himself or to answer Mara. He says it's a very big stone. You cannot even You can't move it even an inch. It is not possible to everybody. You cannot do that. It's very tough job. This is what Bhima says. Headman again scolds him. Here, don't answer his question. Don't allow him to speak to you. Because Mara asks question in such a way that Bhima answers blindly, so that Mara can escape. So that is why the headman says, don't answer his question, don't allow him to speak. For that Mara asks, why not? Why can't he speak? I too would like to grow fat and strong just like Bhima. So that is his interest, and that's why he's asking him question, that Mara would like to grow fat and strong just like Bhima. If taking iron decoction and carrying grindstone uphill could make me strong, why should I not try it? Look at the question he asks. Mara asks, if Bhima can do that, then even I'll do that. Even I would like to grow fat and strong. If iron decoction, or if consuming iron decoction and carrying grindstone uphill could make me strong, if that is possible, definitely I'll try that too. Maybe you will not think of me mad then. If I do that, then you won't call me mad or insane. This is what Mara says. For which Bhima replies, you can't take the decoction now. He gives all the information here, Bhima. He says, you can't take the decoction now. Your mother should have put it into you before you were 10 days old. So your mother had to give that to you when you were 10 days before, when you were 10 days old, not now. It is not possible now because you are grown up now, you are not a baby. It should be given when you were too small. Mother should have put it into you before you were 10 days old. So now this is not possible. For which headman, Bhima, don't you talk to him. Again he warns, don't you dare talk to him. Don't you see he is your prisoner? Bhima has forgotten that. He warns Bhima, don't you talk to him, don't you dare talk to him. Don't you see he is your prisoner? He is your prisoner and you should not let him speak. That's your responsibility. Bhima, yes, I'll be careful hereafter. Okay, fine, I won't let him speak now onwards. But who will do my work here? As I said, Bhima had another work of repairing the road, but here the headman gave him another work where he has to look after Mara. So he is worried about his own work. So he asks, who will do my work then? For which headman says, don't worry about that. So you will get your money all the same. There won't be any changes. You will get your salary or you will get your wage or money all the same, perhaps a quarter more. So if you do this work well, if you watch him over for 2 days, definitely you will get more than that. So I'll pay you more than that. So this is how he says to Bhima. Now take him away and sit over him till the evening of the day after tomorrow. So he says, or he orders Bhima that take Mara and put him in a jail or cellar and watch over him. Don't let him escape for 2 days. So drag him like an animal if he resists. Look at that. He orders Bhima to treat Mara like an animal. If he throws any tantrum or if he opposes to come with you, then just drag him like an animal. This is what he says. Mara says, no, I won't resist. Why should I resist? I won't oppose. I'll go with him gladly. I'll go with Bhima happily. He is not at all worried about that. Mara, look at him. That is why I said. So he is not at all worried about being imprisoned, because he knows that definitely he is going to come out very easily. So he says, come on. So he calls Bhima. Actually Bhima has to take him along with him, but here Mara is inviting him. Come on. I'll tell you all about my dreams as we go. Still now Mara needs someone to share his dream. So here he says, okay fine, if the headman is not ready to listen, so what, fine. Come Bhima, we'll go and I tell you all about my dreams as we go. Headman, Bhima, don't allow him to do that. Again he warns, don't let him speak and say his dreams. Say about his dreams. He wants to talk to you and slip away while you are listening. So he says, headman says, so that's the planning of Mara. So what is his plan? He just wants to talk to you, and while you are listening, he tries to escape from you, or he'll slip away. So he'll escape from you. So that's his plan. So don't let him speak. Now bind up his wrist together. Wrist is hands. So tie his both the hands together with your turban. Turban, headdress. So headdress. So tie his both the hands with your headdress and drag him behind you. Just drag him. Take him. Gag him if possible. Gag him. Just shut his mouth if possible. Don't let him talk. That is good now. It should quieten him. So shut his mouth. Now begone. Begone, go away. How our time has been wasted. He says to other workmen, look, how our time has been wasted because of this Mara. Now swing your arms. Do your work quickly. Swing your arms is an idiom. Do your work quickly. Faster. You must have the path ready even if you have to work by lamplight after dark. So you have to complete this work today itself. Even if you have to work in the night also, you have to complete this work today itself. So do your work faster. This is what the headman said. So this is all about the first scene. Mara looks very humble, at the same time funny, and the way he answers that also shows his smartness and how calm he is, and to what extent he goes to convey his message to the king, or to what extent he goes to meet the king, and how he takes all the blames in a good temper. So this is important here. As I said, headman calls him lunatic, fool, mad and wretched dog, even though he uses abusive words, but still he doesn't take all those things seriously. He doesn't even insult the headman back, but he takes everything just for the good intention to complete his, to accomplish the work that was said by the goddess. So he takes up, or even though he gets humiliated, he doesn't give up or he doesn't go back. So he wanted to tell or convey the words of goddess to the king, and that's why he stays there itself and waits for his opportunity patiently. So as I said, we have also seen the character of headman here, who is the higher authority, and he has the commanding nature, and he also uses abusive words for both Mara as well as for other workers. Yes, so we'll discuss the second scene in the next class. Thank you.